listening to Proof Text, a Glossa House podcast by Dr. T. Michael W. Halcomb, Dr. Frederick J. Long, Dr. Mario Melendez, Dr. Jennifer Noonan, and J. M. Smith. Welcome and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Proof Text. I am Michael Halcomb, and in this episode, we're thinking about vocabulary, especially Greek vocabulary. So this is what we call a Growcabulary episode, where we want to grow our vocabulary and our knowledge of Greek. Now, if you're watching, what I'm going to do here is what I often do in these episodes is pull stepbible.org up onto the screen, and we're just going to look at a Greek root. And the Greek root in particular, or in view today, is theta epsilon rho, ther. And so if you're just listening, you'll be able to follow along too as well. What I'm going to do is set my keyboard to Greek, and then I'm going to type that in here, ther, and we'll see what we have pop up. There we go. We have therapia, and that's interesting. It's defined as serving, or service, rather. Therapevo, which means to serve or to heal. Therapon, a servant. Then we have therizo, and then we have therismos, a harvest, and therizo is to reap. Theristes is a reaper, right? And then we have thermeno, to warm, therme, to heat, theros, summer, therma. All right, so which one of these is actually the Greek root ther? Well, if you look at therapia, all these ones with service, it actually looks like the Greek root is theta epsilon rho alpha. So probably not those. And then we look at therizo, therismos, theristes, and those all have that iota after the rho. So theta epsilon rho iota, so probably not those. So what we're looking at here is thermeno, therme, and theros, to warm, heat, and summer. So thermeno, to warm, verb form, therme, heat, and theros, summer. So that theta epsilon rho root has to do with heat or warmth, and the warm time of year, summer. So let's look at just a few of the verb forms of this that we get. So we have thermeneto. We see this in 1 Kings 1:1, and it's talking about and he could not keep warm, and he could not keep warm. We see it in 1 Kings 2, thermanthesete, thermanthesete, o Kyrios o Vasilevs. And she was and the Lord was keeping our king warm, or something like that. Just going off the top of my head, we have it in Job. Let's look at a New Testament example, see if we have one here. We got one in Mark 14:54. There's an example. I think that's the first New Testament occurrence, and then again in 1467, to the two participle forms there, thermenomenon, and this is talking about that scene where Peter's standing before the barrel, warming himself, warming his hands, and we see it in John as well. And so, yeah, a number of examples. And so one way that I remembered this early on, and a sort of good mnemonic device, is think of a thermos, a thermos, right? It keeps coffee warm or coffee hot. And so, yeah, that's ther, or ther, our root theta epsilon rho, and it has to do with warmth, heat. Even summer, which is the warmer, heated time of the year. So that's our Greek root for this episode, and I hope that helps.
Interested in growing your ancient language skills but not sure where to start? Glossa House can help. From illustrated readers and short stories to lexicons and grammars, Glosshouse offers a variety of resources for beginning, intermediate, and experienced ancient language learners. Head to glosshouse.com today. Glosshouse, language resources for the global community.